know.
All right. I'll be happy to. Well, this is the 2019 Nissan Leaf Plus, E Plus, with 62 kilowatt battery and a range in excess of 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and start it up. All I do is put your foot on the brake.
So let's see how it starts.
And you'll notice that there's a small green car with the two arrows. That's what tells you it's on. There's no sound.
No. And I would say something is broken because there is no sound.
No sound. Okay. The decimal level in this.
You can hold it here.
Okay.
And we are recording on the camera. So are we ready to go?
Yep, we're ready to go. The decimal level inside at idle and at 70 miles an hour is the same as a Bentley Continental GT. Oh. So you come over and back to go into drive.
I'm in parking.
You're in park right now. So to go to drive, you move it over and back.
Like
and
this.
You'll notice it goes to D.
It goes to D here.
On the dashboard.
All right.
And that tells you that it's on. And then you'll notice how smooth and quiet it is when it takes off.
Very smooth. And this is like totally stealth.
This is total stealth. It's 100% electric. So you don't have the sound or vibration of a gas engine. So noise vibration harshness is much improved. In terms of cost, it costs 80 to 90% less to drive this vehicle per mile, and we're going to go to the 80 to 90% less per mile to drive this vehicle than it would a conventional gas car.
Okay, let me see the takeoff.
And the takeoff you can see.
Oh yeah.
This car will move.
I'm right on the tail.
Yeah. That's the great thing about an electric car is you have instant torque.
Are we going right or straight?
We're gonna go straight.
All right.
Yeah. And you can see the car handles like a sports car.
Oh yes. I like this acceleration because in a traffic when you have to move for that spot, and quite often there's just one spot that will determine when you are going to get in your lane or not.
Yes.
That pickup.
And this is when you have to merge in traffic in Atlanta, when you have to get in that spot if you want to get off the freeway, the car has the speed and handling to do that. And that's because the batteries are underneath us. So the weight balance in the car, we're going to go up here and make a right at not this light, but the second light.
Okay. So let's talk about some technical specs while we are driving.
Obviously the new 60 kilowatt has 50% more range. It has more horsepower. We went up from 147 to 214. It has more torque. We went from 236 up to 250.
So torque also means better acceleration and better also traction on a steep uphill.
Yes, and if you had to pull something, obviously, having torque at 0 without having to go up through the gears to reach maximum torque is an advantage. But for traffic driving, for Atlanta driving, this is a great vehicle for that purpose alone.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm really closing on these vehicles like there is nothing, and very few cars have capacity to match my speed when I accelerate.
Exactly. If you're driving next to a gas-powered vehicle, it can't meet your speed. Years ago, I was in Atlanta, and I rolled up next to a Porsche Panamera. Clearly a far more expensive car, clearly, supposedly a greater performance car. At a stoplight, I looked over at the driver and I went, and he looked at me like I had lost my mind.
Yes. In this, are you going to challenge me in this?
Right.
No.
And he looks at me like, okay, he's lost his mind. This poor man has gone crazy. I stepped on it.
Unfortunately, there's nobody next to me because I would do the same. But I'm totally stalled because what shall I do? Normally, if we do this, you rev your engines.
Right.
What shall I rev?
Right, all you can do.
Nothing to rev.
Nothing to rev. But when we accelerated for about 100 yards, I just blew him away.
Oh, of course.
So by the time he caught up, I went, you don't have anything, never mind.
At that moment, he was questioning his investment.
Right. I'm sure.
Why I spent that much money in that vehicle, which is visibly slower.
Right. Yeah, so the idea is to get a car that's practical, it's utilitarian, got space in the back. You can put people in the back seat. It's got storage behind. You've got 23.5 cubic feet of cargo room. That's big compared to most vehicles. And what it is a practical car that's not going. We can turn either here or the next light, either one.
Maybe here.
Okay.
Let's see acceleration again.
Yep. And then I'm going to show you a thing called e-pedal, which I think you'll find very fascinating.
Okay, let's e-pedal.
Okay, here's e-pedal.
Okay.
Now what we're going to do is one pedal driving.
Okay.
You're going to accelerate with the accelerator, and you're going to slow down with the accelerator.
Okay.
When you lift your foot.
Okay, I have to stop here.
Yeah. When you lift your foot, it's going to brake, and when you press down, it's going to go.
Okay.
So I'll click it here, and you'll notice there's a little blue thing that says e-pedal right there.
So what do I do with
All
e-pedal?
right, so press down and accelerate just slightly, roll up a little bit. All right. Now when you roll up, just maybe go up and maybe 10 feet. So if you go, when you lift up off the accelerator, you're going to feel a braking action.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Is this regenerative braking?
It is regenerative braking.
All right, so let us go.
Right, so now when you get up here, just slightly let off. You can see how you can feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now you go again.
That's like I'm applying a brake, not fully, but enough to accelerate.
Right, and you can bring the car to a full stop with it. But what it really does is this. In bumper-to-bumper traffic, it's the most natural way to drive.
Exactly. It's annoying to apply both feet, brake, and do braking pads get engaged in this motion or not?
Actually, we haven't engaged the braking pads yet because only in an emergency stop do you put pad on rotor. You've been using magnetism to slow down thus far.
So would be far longer intervals between changing the braking pads.
Roughly about 120,000 miles versus 30 or 40.
Oh, yet another saving.
Yes. The one thing that's very interesting is e-pedal. I think we can turn here. Yeah, I think we can make a right-hand turn here. Yeah, this is Ivan Allen. I just didn't realize it was Ivan Allen. For the elderly, for example, one of the reasons you have some elderly folks drive so slowly is because of their reaction time.
Yes.
They're concerned that they can't react as fast as they did when they were younger. E-pedal is instant. So driving with e-pedal allows them to go and stop without the motion of moving over from an accelerator to a brake pedal.
Yes.
And that can extend and make them better drivers. That's the whole idea of this car.
Also, we can show our infotainment system here.
Yeah, and if you have for example, if you have a iPhone or an Android, by plugging in right here, you can reflect that phone right on the
perfect
dashboard.
And I can see it's a little bit lower. It used to be in previous years, so it's less risk of the sun glare, because we have sun here, but not here.
Right, and it's a bigger screen now. It's 8 inches.
Yeah, so everything is very well strategically positioned, and it's easy to read, very convenient.
Well, I tell you that as you start driving it, what you find is that it's a good car for a lot of reasons. And the best reason is that if you are a commuter, somebody who's coming to work every day, driving 12 to 15 miles each way to work every day, or like most Americans, less than 50 miles a day, 84%, fall into that category, Leaf is perfect for you. You're going to save anywhere, if you're driving, if you're an average, we're going to make a left-hand turn there. If you're an average driver in Atlanta, you're going to save about $300 a month driving a Leaf. Because you're going to spend about $20 in electricity compared to $150 in fuel and maintenance.
So savings.
Well, but you're also saving the environment.
Yes.
For every mile you drive in a gas-powered car, you put a pound of CO2 into the air.
And nothing here.
And 0 here. So by replacing a gas-powered car with an electric car like this, you save anywhere between 6 and 9 tons of CO2 from going into the atmosphere every year.
Now, this version has much longer range. I don't even remember what was the range on the very first Leaf. Was it under 100?
Yeah, the first one was about 73 miles. And that was usable, but obviously that it had limitations.
Yes.
Every year we've improved the car. So we brought out a 40 kilowatt battery that gets about 150 miles, which is the standard model and probably the model that most people will end up owning. But if they want to feel good, and we're going to turn in right here, if they want to feel good about, and then right there by that C, if you want that extra range or just a level of comfort in having the extra range, then we brought out the E Plus, which is a 62 kilowatt battery, which will give them the range, that extra level of comfort that they want.
And yes, then everything around 100, it makes you a little bit question whether you can make it to the next station, but this one has in excess up to
226.
Which gives you in an urban environment, commuting from suburban neighborhoods, a peace of mind.
Right, and they don't have to worry. You can charge up once or twice a week with this car. Exactly. And not have to worry about charging, similar to the way you would with a gas-powered vehicle.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Was a great presentation.